Try to picture nothing. Not blackness, because that's a color. Not empty space, because that has dimensions. Just nothing. The task is impossible. Your brain is a relentless pattern-matching machine, an engine designed to fill every gap. When confronted with a command to conceptualize absolute absence, it stalls, serving up proxies like a dark room or the silent vacuum of space. These are not nothing. They are the stages where something could happen. The brain's default mode network, the very system that lets your mind wander, is almost always active. It insists on thinking, remembering, and projecting. It refuses to be off. This mental resistance has a deep philosophical parallel, horror vacui, the idea that nature abhors a vacuum. For centuries, thinkers like Aristotle argued that true emptiness could not exist in nature. Any void, they believed, would be instantly and violently filled. This wasn't just an observation about physics, it was a statement about reality itself. It reflects a fundamental cognitive bias. We are uncomfortable with absence. An unanswered question, a silent moment in a conversation, an empty space on a shelf, our minds rush to populate them. We project faces onto clouds and find meaning in random noise because a filled world is more predictable than an empty one. But what happens when we force the brain into a void? In anechoic chambers, rooms so quiet you can hear your own blood flowing, or in sensory deprivation tanks, people don't experience a peaceful nothing. Instead, the brain, starved of external input, begins to feed on itself. It starts generating its own reality. This isn't silence. It's the emergence of auditory hallucinations, phantom hums, and clicks. It isn't darkness. It's a cascade of phosphenes, geometric patterns of light generated by the eye's own retinal cells. The brain doesn't just shut down in the absence of stimuli. It turns up the gain on its internal signals, desperately searching for a pattern in its own neural noise. This phenomenon is known as the Ganzfeld effect. By presenting the eyes with a uniform, unstructured field of vision, like looking at a perfectly blank white wall or wearing halved ping-pong balls over your eyes, you overload the visual system with featureless information. The brain's feature detection neurons receive no edges, no shadows, no movement. In response, they fire erratically, creating phantom images, shapes, and colors that aren't there. You are literally seeing the byproducts of your own visual cortex. Nothing, in this case, isn't a blank canvas. It's an invitation for the brain to start painting. This idea of nothing being an active concept has a powerful analog in mathematics, the number zero. For most of history, zero didn't exist as a number. There was an absence of a quantity, but no symbol to represent that absence. Its invention, likely in India, was revolutionary. Zero wasn't just a placeholder, it was an entity with properties. You could add it, subtract it, and most strangely, use it to divide, leading to the concept of infinity. The formal acceptance of nothing as something created entirely new fields of mathematics. It transformed a void into a tool. Our brains might treat perceptual nothingness in the same way. Neuroscientists are exploring the idea that we don't just infer absence, we actively perceive it. Look at the hole in a donut. You don't just see the cake and deduce the empty space. Your visual system seems to process the hole as a shape in its own right. It has a boundary and a distinct existence. Researchers have found that our brains react to the appearance of a hole almost as quickly as they react to the appearance of an object. This suggests we might have neural mechanisms specifically tuned to detect nothingness, to see the void as a feature of the world. So, what does nothing feel like? It is not the absence of feeling. It is the active cognitive process of registering that absence. It's the feeling of your brain providing a placeholder. It is the eerie silence of an anechoic chamber where the loudest sound is your own nervous system. It's the visual static of the Ganzfeld effect. It's the shape of the space between two people. Nothing feels like the framework of something else. It is the boundary that gives form to objects, the silence that gives rhythm to music, the void that our consciousness insists on exploring. The feeling of nothing, ultimately, is the feeling of a mind at work.